I find it extremely strange that the more responsible you are and reliable you are, the more responsibility seems to find you. And it's good to be a responsible person. It's good to be a reliable person. It's good to be somebody who is dependable. But that can become very exhausting very quickly, especially when it becomes a pattern. You solve one problem, then you have to solve it 10 times. You fill a gap, you have to fill it 10 times. You answer the question, no, nobody else brains work. You see the mess, nobody else eyes work. It's becoming this constant thing where it's not help anymore. It's your responsibility because they know that you are the type of person, and I'm doing air quotes because I'm holding the mic, but you are the type of person who is not going to ignore the mess. You're the type of person who is going to make sure that everything is good, right? And you don't ask for credit, you don't take credit. And somehow, everybody else, once they do one thing, they're praised, and they literally walk around seeking credits for every single thing. It's very baffling to watch because for me, it's like, okay, so nobody noticed that everything else is being carried because they're not carrying it. But the moment they start to carry something, it becomes, I just changed the world. Thinking about this phenomenon is just making it so much more important to understand that being responsible is not bad, but being responsible with our boundaries is a recipe for disaster. Like, you can be caring and know that there are limits. You can be hardworking and responsible and don't have to carry the entire weight of everything. And because a lot of people are trying to fit into this category where they're seen as nice, they just want to neglect themselves to get there. And people think you should aspire to being called nice, to the fact that if you're not, they're going to say, oh, you're not being nice, as if that is the prize. And I just really think we are extremely brainwashed. We are extremely brainwashed to think that if you just do one more thing, if you just do one more task, if you just do one more load, then somehow your artwork is going to be noticed. And it's absolutely not going to be noticed. The moment somebody else comes along and does something without complaining, they are now the new candidate for acknowledgement. But you that has been carrying it forever is just seen as, oh, that's just her job. That's just her responsibility. That's just what she's supposed to do. And might I add that even if that is what you're supposed to do, human decency is giving acknowledgement to somebody's work and making them feel or aiding in them feeling like they are doing something and not just this is their job. So there is no acknowledgement of effort. The questions that I'm sitting with are, how do you remain caring without being the only one who carries things, or without um, while setting a boundary? And how do you contribute without carrying the entire weight? And how do you assist without losing yourself underneath all of that responsibility? Because the real problem with being responsible is not things that you can see, it's all the hidden burden. It's the invisible burden. It's the things that nobody can measure and see. And the funny part, and it's not even funny, but you know what I mean. The part about this that is the most mind blowing is that when you respond or react in a moment of frustration because you're just exhausted and feeling stretched beyond your limits, like you cannot get a break, that is the moment that people are going to use to write you off. That's the moment that they're going to call you emotional. That's the moment when they're going to all of a sudden notice that you need a break. Almost to say that your feelings are not valid, you're just acting up because you need a break. But it's not the break where I am reducing your workload because I realize that you're carrying everything. It's the break where I can just say that I gave you a break, if that resonates. And the thing about it is, a person that is hypervigilant, you can see behind all of the motives. You can see behind it. Like you, it's almost, it's a blessing and a curse, but you can just feel some intents that are probably not as obvious to everybody else. And it's not that you're being negative, but you just pick up on certain cues and body language that people probably think you don't notice because you don't say anything about it. So it's a really tough place to be in. And I don't know if this resonates with anybody hearing it, but if you're in the space right now where you feel like you are just carrying a lot and it doesn't seem like anybody notices because you're not complaining, and it's that invisible weight that only you understand, and you are sleeping every day and it's not solving anything, and you are still able to function, you are still able to go about your entire day and be efficient, but you're the only one who knows your burdens. I resonate with that so much. So you are definitely not alone in this phase or in this season. And I just want to tell you that maybe this is just a teaching moment to remind you that even if it's hard to reshuffle things, maybe that's what is needed. Because being buried alive is a very traumatic experience. You know, I always hear people say some people died long ago, but they're still here. These are the things that they're talking about. These little things that go unnoticed and unchecked for a long time because we're living our lives in fear of the unknown, and we just try to hold on to everything that we have because we don't know what's next. And in that process of holding on, we are literally losing ourselves. And so I just want to encourage you tonight that as hard as it is to dig yourself up from that dirt, we can do our things too. All right. So, yeah, I hope this resonates. You're not alone. That's what I wanted you to hear tonight. And if it did resonate, consider giving me a like and share this with anybody that it could benefit, as well as subscribe if you have not yet subscribed. And follow me on all social media platforms at Khrista-Lee, or that's Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And also, comment below if does this resonate with you. I'd love to hear. All right, but until my next video, let's go make some mistakes, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.